So you're looking for an oceanfront condo, and I'm going to give you a couple pointers, tips, things to stay away from, what to look for. Today I'm going to do an A and a B so you can see the difference between the two, and we're going to talk about cash flow. Does that sound like a plan? If that sounds like a plan to you, go ahead and give me a thumbs up below. So here's the thing with the condos that we're in. Each one of them is going to be a little bit different. Each one of them, even though you have an oceanfront balcony, there's going to be a huge difference. And I know that you guys have been looking online. I know that you've been searching. You've probably seen what's out there, how much they cost. And I just want to give you some things that you want to stay away from, what you should look for, and things to consider. So is that okay with you? All right, so here's the thing. Everything on the ocean front is great when you're out on that balcony, but it's the difference of what's in the unit, the complex, what it's close to, what it's far away from, because it's the differences between the two. It's not just, okay, it's an oceanfront condo, and I can rent it out when I'm not there. You know, there's several things that you want to think about. Are you going to use it yourself? Are you looking at it from just a rental income standpoint? Are you going to live in it full time? Is that one of the things that you want to do? So when you look at them, I just want to let you know the good is seldom cheap and the cheap is seldom good. You may have watched my other videos and you've heard me say this before, but I want you to know that there's a huge difference between this and the rest of it, okay? On paper, we're going to go through an A and a B, and the reason I'm saying this is because I want to show you, because on paper, you've been looking online, on paper they look the same. They've got lazy rivers, they've got pools, they're oceanfront, but one's cheaper than the other. And one you want to run away from, and the other one you want to consider. So we're going to go through those numbers. But let me first go through some things that you want to consider when you're looking at a condo. What it's close to or what it's not close to will give you, first off, a potential for upside appreciation. And I'm not just talking about the ocean, I'm talking about what it's close to. If you have restaurants, if you have shops, is the neighborhood going up or is it equal? These are the things you can't see online. That's why I'm doing these videos, and I hope they're helping you. The reason I do these is for you. It's not for me. I want to make sure that you avoid the pitfalls that are costly. And when you work with one of our members of our team, you know, you're going to learn an awful lot. But you're also going to be going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then you can make an educated decision. You know, if you decide to buy, that's great. If not, that's fine. So what is close to, what is not close to. You can't see on the internet or in videos, you know, how clean or how dirty a resort is. You can't see necessarily what it's close to, what it's far away from. You can't tell how it smells. This particular unit doesn't have a great smell. You can't tell that. You can't tell pending litigation. You can't tell what's going on. You can't tell if there's a future assessment. And you can't tell a lot of things. So when you're looking at properties online, please keep an open mind. You've heard me say this before. The internet is a great tool. It'll get you started, but it's not going to answer all the questions. So the reason I say that is because, you know, a lot of people, as humans, what do? We try to come to the conclusion of which one we want. And you can't do that on the internet. It's not Amazon. You can't push the button and buy. And if you do, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people in this town, any beach condo town, anywhere you're buying investment properties, that are salespeople. And they will sell you something, but you may end up in the wrong place. You may make a decision that was not the best decision. You could have made a better one, or you could have had more opportunities. So I want to point those things out. Let's talk about, besides the two that we're going to go through, this would be Unit A, okay? And then we're going to compare it to a Unit B. On the internet, you know, they look the same because they have those same amenities on site, okay? The lazy rivers, the hot tubs, the pools, the facilities. They also look like the HOA fees are similar. They're close. And they also look like one is less than the other. Now people say, okay, well, if it's less than the other, I can fix it up. I'm looking for a fixer-upper. You're not looking for a fixer-upper because the reviews online, the management of the property, who's in it, what's going on, those are going to make the difference to your pocketbook, okay? Fixer-uppers rarely, again, you've heard me say it, the good is seldom cheap, the cheap is seldom good. What do you look for? Cash flow Okay, so it's all about the cash flow. So I'm going to put on my cash flow hat because that's what we're talking about. Okay, it's flow, the flow. Okay, why? If you look at properties from this standpoint, you're going to win. Highest producing gross rental income, okay? Next layer down, what's the HOA fees, what's included. Third, the building itself, the location, the amenities, the on-site. Fourth, what you personally like. Now, if you do it in exactly that order, I'm going to tell you, you're going to win. Okay? Why? Because the oceanfront is great. It's all the other stuff that you cannot see, and this is why I'm saying I'm trying to help you with this. You just can't see the difference when you're looking on the internet. The first step you've done is, obviously, you've looked at properties by 1,000 different websites. You've seen what's out there. You've gone on all the major websites. You may have been on my website as well. And if this is your first video that you're watching from us, go ahead and click subscribe because we've got new videos that are going to help you a lot. But the thing that you're going to not be able to see is all these things that I'm talking about. So I want to make sure that you're kind of getting an idea before you get an idea, okay? So when we're looking at properties, what is close to and what is not close to. Also, what is going to be built into the future? What's across the street? Not oceanfront, but I'm talking like around it. Is the area coming up? Are they rebuilding things? Do people come back year after year? Okay, and we look at year over year. What I mean by that is, okay, in 1 year, 3 years back, look at 3 years back, you know, was the gross rental here, and then it went up another 1,000 the following year, and then another 1,000 the following year. Those are the properties year over year. If they're increasing in income, they're going to help you out big time because those are where people vote with their dollar. They come back year after year. It's all about cash flow. Also, the HOA, I've seen HOAs where some of them are very hands-on. They take care of everything for you. You have no issues with the HOA. And things are taken care of. You know, if you need carpet in the hallways, guess what? It's already taken care of because it's in the budget. I've also seen them where, you know, henny penny, the sky is falling, and you know, we need money because of this, that, and the other. You know, are the hallways falling apart? Is there stuff falling apart? Is there deferred maintenance because they didn't do something like waterproofing or a roof that is going to get water into the building? Again, I've seen this as well. You want to stay away from that stuff. You can't see this on the internet. This is why I'm talking about this. You want to make sure that these are the things that you want to avoid. So this property, and I'm going to go back through here. I'm jumping around, but I just want to give you all of the information. A 1-bedroom, equal square footage to the second. This is unit A. So if you look here, you got an air conditioner in the wall, a sleeper sofa. You do have a bed here. A little dinette. You go into the kitchen, small kitchen, piece of granite, stove, microwave, fridge, and you say, okay, well, this all can be updated because it's not, you know, new. Well, you can do that, but I don't know that you're going to get any more rental income out of it. Here's a bed in the bedroom, So, what's the difference between and then you have a bath, and the bathroom is just basic. Some things have not been updated in here. Okay. So people say, well, I can go and put 10 grand into this thing and it's oceanfront and it's cheap and yada yada. Well, let's compare the two, because when I look at them on paper, yeah, they sound like they're great, right? Let me put my glasses on so I can actually read these small fine print. Okay? In the building that we're talking about, you know, there may be 20, 25 properties that are for sale. Let me talk to you about that. Some properties that are the best properties may only have 1 or 2 available. Why? Because they cash flow. People know this. In other buildings that we would show you, there's no availability, but you know, if you're patient, you wait, and we show you this when you're here. Don't ask, and here's another thing. Please don't ask us to email you these things. It's not going to make any sense. If you're serious about this, book an appointment. Pick up the phone. Because this is the only way you're going to learn. Here's the first step. You've already looked online. You looked at properties. Great. Okay? Second thing is you're watching videos. You're trying to learn more. Great. But if you're actually serious, otherwise it's a wish. It won't happen. What ends up happening is I see this over and over again. My team has helped thousands of people buy and sell real estate on the beach, at the beach, retirement properties, investment properties. I want to make sure that you are making smart decisions and not just making a decision. So to get all that information, you gotta see it. You gotta see it, feel it, touch it, and understand it. So I'm using this as an example. So let's go back to it. A building that has a lot of properties for sale, why? That's a question I want to know, right? Why does it have a lot of properties for sale? Something's happening. Okay, look, there's value in the oceanfront. If there's something going on, then the oceanfront shouldn't be a whole lot in there. If the properties are cash flowing, people are not getting rid of that property either. You know, they're going to keep it because it's putting money in their pocket month after month after month. Okay, so let's go through. One bedroom here. I'm going to compare. Don't take just one bedrooms being this is it. I'm just giving you this example today. There's a one bedroom. You can buy for under $100,000. It's on the beach. HOA is $650 a month. People say, oh, I don't want a high HOA. Okay, you ready? Buy a house on the beach. Okay? When you buy a house on the beach, you have to pay for it, or anywhere. You own a house anywhere. You got to pay for insurance, water, electric, cable, internet. What else? I mean, you know, exterior maintenance, you're in charge of everything. You know, interior, you're in charge of everything. When you're in this 650 or some of these properties, I'm just using this example, don't get all crazy about it. I want a low HOA. Low HOA means, okay, you're going to get trash service and pool service. Great. Guess what you got to pay? Water, electric, cable, wireless internet, all the other things. The big money is really in the insurance, especially if it's on the beach. If it's included in the HOA, that's what you want. This particular one includes all of that, but the problem is it does not include the interior contents HO6 policy, which is a renter's policy. Let me explain what that is. The renter's policy is if somebody falls in your unit, it's liability. If you have loss of income, okay, wind-driven rain, it's July 4th, you rent it out for big money, it's the highest peak of the season, and water gets in under the door, you got to rip the carpet up, and you've lost the income from that. Well, it's going to cover you for the contents, you know, fixing the carpet or whatever else. It's also going to cover you for the loss of income. That's called an HO6 policy. Very cheap insurance. When we meet, we're going to talk to you about the good, the bad, and the ugly, what to look for, what to stay away from. But I just want to throw that in there so you understand. Okay, so back to it. What's included? Okay, on paper, again, this looks very similar to this next unit that we're going to talk about. But the difference is one's going to put money in your pocket, and the other one's just going to I mean, you're going to be writing a check, okay? So when I look at the property, excuse me for doing that, I'm looking down. When I look at the property, how much is the rental income? The rental income kind of sucks, right? And you compare the two. Rental income, you're looking at between $12,000 to $16,000 in gross rental dollars. Okay, now you got to pay for all your other things, and if you've taken out a mortgage, those numbers aren't going to work. Even if you paid cash, you're probably, by the time you're done, said and done, your rental management and all the other things, probably not going to make any money. Now, when I go into the next unit, you're going to see the difference. But let me just talk a little bit more about ocean properties and why it's very important to know what you're doing and not just, you know, search on the internet, because the internet's just, it just doesn't answer all the questions. I'm going to take my flow hat off, all right? So when we get out here, this is what it's about. And this is the thing that a lot of salespeople or people who come here, they get out on the balcony and they get all excited because, oh my gosh, look at that, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful, but there's a difference between the one that's going to really put money in your pocket and the one that's going to take money out of your pocket. And future appreciation. Here's some things that you want to think about. People say, I want to make, you know, 10, 20%, you know, return on my investment. That's great. Here's things that you want to talk about. You aren't going to make 10 or 20% on an oceanfront condo. Somebody else is paying for your condo. If you're financing it, you're going to need 20% or more down, probably 30 to really be in a good position. I personally like 30 because this is me. I'm talking about how I invest, how, you know, we buy properties as well. Because I have more skin in the game, I've got more leverage, but I also have, it's more cash coming in, okay, because it's the amount of money that's coming in. Let's talk about the financing of condotels. The condotels, you can't go to your hometown bank. You know, if you go to a major, and I'm not naming any names, but if you go to any major bank, they aren't going to finance a condo-tel. A condo-tel can be rented by the month, by the week, or by the night. It has a front desk. It might have the word in or something like that in its name. These are things that Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae will not finance on. Most big banks, that's who the paper is coming from, that's where the money's coming from. Local lenders here, we have good relationships with. They lend, it's the same rates, you're not getting hosed, and you're also, they know the building because they live here. Their bank is across the street, you know, they know where that building is, so they have no problem loaning money. You get into square footage, if it's a low square footage, a lot of banks don't want to deal with it because it just doesn't make any sense for them money-wise. Or if the loan value is if it's too low, they aren't going to do it. You have to have decent credit, you got to be a stable citizen, so that's one thing. But the thing that you want to keep in mind about the condos, yes, you can make money on these, okay? You know, multiple streams of income. You've heard me say in some of these other videos if you've watched me, multiple streams of income is a good thing. While you're working, someone else is paying for your place at the beach. Now, I said this, but here's what you want to realize. When they're paying for your place at the beach, you've got, let's say, 20% down. Let's use that. Your 20% is leveraged. So you're controlling an asset that's worth probably, what, 5 times more value? Okay, 4 times its value of what you've put down. So what's the percent that you get a return on investment on that? That's the number you want to think about when people say, I want some crazy return. Because you aren't paying cash. If you buy $100,000 worth of stocks, you have $100,000 worth of stocks. If you have a $100,000 property and you put 20% down, you've only put 20% into it, $20,000, and you're controlling a $100,000 asset. So what's your return on that? That's the number that you want to consider. But the other thing is that if someone is paying for your place at the beach, that's what it's about. The other thing is, you know, if it cash flows and it's putting money in your pocket on top of that, how about this? What about future appreciation? I got a question to ask you. Are properties on the beach or near the water, anywhere, going to increase in value or go down in value? Okay? Second thing, are properties that are further inland or in some metro area going to go up in value more or less? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you that, you know, the long term of it is, if you've ever heard about people talking about $1 million beachfront property and such, there's a reason for it. Hello. Okay, so if you've thought about this, and this is something that, you know, that you've thought about doing, the first step, like I say, you've looked at properties online, you've seen what's out there, you got an idea. You might be saving your money up. You might be saving your time for a vacation. Hey, if you come down here for your vacation and you're looking, don't expect to come in midsummer and get into the prime properties. Why? Somebody's already in that property. Hello. Okay, cash flow. Cash flow. Okay, it's all about the flow. The best properties are rented all the time. They're hard to get into, okay? The worst properties you can get into all the time. If you had a garage across the street from the beach and you put a cot in it in the summer, you could rent it out in July 4th week because everything gets booked. It's July 4th. Everybody needs to go to the beach July 4th, right? So if you're coming during the summer, some of those best properties, don't expect to go out looking at properties. If you're serious, most people are just playing at that point. They're just trying to get an idea of what it is. You're not going to get a good handle on it. Make an appointment. We'll talk to you. We'll give you, my team's going to help you to give you the correct information. You know, you've been getting listing alerts and you've been doing all that, but still there's too many questions that are still coming on, you know, because you got to see it, feel it, touch it. You got to understand one from the other, why one makes sense. And these are things that I'm showing you numbers here, but these are things that aren't going to make sense to you until you've actually seen it. So, by the way, share this with somebody you know that could use it. And if you haven't done so already, if this makes sense to you so far, go ahead and click, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And now I'm going to go into our next property. I'm going to show you, but before I do, I'm going to make a clip, put it right in here, of some work that's being done on a building for an assessment that, again, what to stay away from. Okay, so we're in condo unit B, which would be a comparative. 2 blocks down the street. Just 2 blocks away. Numbers are completely different. It's all about the numbers. Other than this unit being a taller unit, it's higher, different floor level, gorgeous view, direct ocean front. Okay, you got a balcony. Colors, obviously, don't worry about that. The furnishings can be all changed. I'm just talking about the basics, so you get the idea here. Living room area, you got a couch, you got a dining area. This is something that you do want to look out for. It's a wall bed, okay? And what it does is it folds up, okay, into the wall. And this is one of those things that'll allow you to actually sleep more people in your unit. It's something that's probably a good idea, but it doesn't mean that it's necessary. Your bathroom, of course, basic commode. Just a little small piece of granite in the kitchen again. Bedroom. In this one here, you've got 2 queen-size beds and a dresser, mirror, and a little closet. So, when we look at the 2 side by side, like we talked about, A and B, this is B. This unit, square footage, we're pretty much talking about the same thing. So the difference between the 2 is, you know, you're going to spend a little bit more money for this, not a whole lot, but the difference is the cash flow. So let's run some numbers here on this one. These units will run, they'll give you, and the reason I'm getting my glasses here so I can actually give you the numbers, $28,000 to $30,000 in gross rental income. So again, a big difference between that first one we looked at and this kind of a unit, even though it's only 2 blocks down the street. And that's the stuff, again, on the internet, you're just not going to get all this stuff. Homeowners Association fees here is $639. It does include that HO6 policy that I was telling you about, and covers your insurance, covers your water, your electric, your pools, your maintenance, exterior, all the internet, the cable TV, the wireless, the electric. Again, if somebody's sitting here during the summer and paying your rent, guess what? You're gonna make sure that they don't have that sliding glass door open and all your AC is rolling out there while you're paying the bill. It's included. Okay, so that's one of those other things that you want to look at. I hope that stuff is helpful to you. Now, again, the internet is not going to answer a lot of these things. Here's some other things I want you to consider when you're looking. So again, these are things I'm trying to help you with. Position of the building is important. You know, some people want the highest view. They want the best view there is. Okay, they want the penthouse, right? Some people want a low floor. Guess why? They're afraid of heights. Now, it doesn't mean that the middle floors are bad, because I own condos in the building that we're in here. I've owned in both of these buildings, so I just want you to know it's not like I haven't done these things before. My team, they know these buildings inside and out, and that's why I just want to make sure that, you know, when you set the time to book with us, you're going to learn, trust me, a lot of stuff. Middle of the building does not necessarily mean it's bad, okay, because I've got a unit that's booked in the middle of the building, so it doesn't mean anything. What it means is that you've got options, okay, and some other things that you want to consider, like TVs, okay. So if you have a TV and it's a small little TV, maybe consider upgrading to a wall flat screen. They don't cost that much money. You can get some extra dollars out of that in rental, because again, a bigger screen TV is better than a smaller screen TV, right? How about king beds? Sometimes king beds will make a difference. Here's some full-size beds. It will sleep more, but again, a king bed could potentially bring you some more income. We'll talk about that. Each building has its own dynamics. This is not rules that are set across the board. When you get down to it, we're going to talk about which management company you want to go with, the on-site, the off-site, which one's going to give you the better return, because it depends on which end of the beach you end up on, which particular building you end up in, which is going to be your best bottom line, okay? So I just want you to think about these things. How about position of the building? Here's another good one. We've had people looking at, on the internet, I love this story. They came into the office, they were all ready to buy, and they told us the unit number that they wanted in this one building. I said, you don't want that. And they said, why? I said, because there's a dumpster, literally a dumpster that sits right outside your door. If the wind changes directions, you're going to smell it. They had no idea because they were looking on the internet, okay? I knew that. Here's another one. How about the restaurant, the French fries that are cooking right next to, all summer long, you get a guest that's paying you, and they're sitting out there with French fries smell all day long because they can't get away from it because the vent from a restaurant is nearby. stuff that you can't control, stuff that you can't learn until you're actually here. That's why I'm trying to give you some of this information to help you avoid these pitfalls. I want to make sure that you're making smart decisions. My team is here to help you. I hope this video kind of helped you, answered some of those questions. You're going to learn so much more. I don't want you just to get average. I want you to get way above average, because average is all over the place. We want to make sure that you're winning. So if this makes sense to you, like I say, if you haven't subscribed, give me a thumbs up. Go ahead, comment below and let me know, because I want to know what your thoughts are. I want to know if this was helpful to you. I want to know if this makes sense to you, and I want to know where you are and what you're working on. In other words, where you are in those steps. I went through where you are. Looking online. Are you just starting? Are you saving money? You know, you have questions, obviously pick up the phone, but I'm going to tell you that the rubber hits the road. It's not a wish or a dream when you're actually here, making the appointment, setting the time. Don't walk into the office is the other thing. There's another tip. We have a lot of these we have to book 24 hours in advance, okay? If somebody's in the unit, we're not getting in. So I just want to make sure. There's units that are on, not on the internet, that we will go and pick up keys for you. Before you even get here, we're going to pick up those keys so you can get into those units. Because, like I said before, some of the best units, there's nothing available in that building. And why? Because they're rental machines. They bring in money day after day after night after night after night, and nobody needs to really sell those. The best ones of those are, you know, people, they don't. If you're looking for foreclosures, you aren't going to get one, because they don't foreclose. Why? Because they're rental machines. You know, they're putting money in somebody's pocket. The way to get those is normally if you have a divorce, somebody needs to sell, there's been a death in the family, they want to sell it and disperse the funds. That happens. But I just want to make sure that, again, you're making smart decisions. And I hope this information helps you. If it does, we'll see you in the next video. It's Jerry with Jerry Pinkas Real Estate Experts. Pretty soon, I hope to see you in sunny Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And one day, you'll be out on your own balcony in your own beachfront condo. Hey, by the way, this is just one example. I mean, there's two bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, and so on. So we're here to help. Talk to you soon.